there's no bad weather, only bad clothing. It just is. Things happen. They're not bad or good. They just happen. But how you respond to them is what will carry you through it.
The best financial advice is whatever's going to help you sleep well at night.
You have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity twice a year. If you're putting yourself out there.
Chasing failure has taken me further than chasing success. The iPhone as we know it, I believe we will not be using it in 3 years or less. iPhone will become the pager.
That you never hear the billionaire say, "Oh, I wish I would have worked more at the office." It's always the opposite. Way easier to say that after you have all the money.
In the next 2 to 3 years, there will be somebody who builds a $1 billion company with only 2 to 3 people. Hello, you beautiful people. Welcome back to Tampa Bay Unlocked. I am your host, Ryan Bogdan. I just want to get right into today's guest. I have Nathan Shirk.
You got it.
Top agent here in the area doing remarkable things. We're in a mastermind together. We hang out, and I wanted to hang with Nate today, and I said, dude, let's just do it in the podcast studio. So, Nate, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me, Shra. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
We were talking close enough to this bad boy?
Yeah, like fist length is what
okay.
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
we're good.
Yeah,
right.
You'll be good. We were just talking about your shirt. No bad weather.
Yes.
With your initials next to it.
Yes.
You had some great things you were saying. I think it's a good perspective for agents, especially in the market that we're in. So what were you saying? What is this?
So regardless of agents or anything,
just life.
Just life. Exactly, just life. So a book was written, I don't know how long ago, by this Norwegian Scandinavian lady. She was talking about the book is called "There's No Bad Weather, Only Bad Clothing," and the whole premise is to get your kids outside, get your kids outside. If it's raining, put a rain jacket on, gloves, cold, all that. Because the weather is not a behavior. It's not like bad. It just is weather, and you have to adjust to it. And so I took that and run with it for life, dovetailing it in with Viktor Frankl's book, Man's Search for Meaning. There we go.
There it is. That's where yeah.
And the premise is that you can have everything taken away from you, but you can still choose how to you respond to situations and your attitude. And so, like, the weather does not behave. It just is. Things happen. They're not bad or good. They just happen. But how you respond to them is what will carry you through it. In the book, Man's Search for Meaning, he was a Holocaust survivor. And he's like, some people came out of this and they were terrible, or they treated other people terrible in it. People that were getting tortured, all that, they became bad people. Other people somehow still had a positive mindset and attitude, and they blossomed when they got out. And they had everything taken away from them, but they could still choose how to respond to the situations that were in front of them. So that's one of my philosophies of life, so to speak. And I just try and spread that message,
spread
like
the joy.
having a positive attitude and perspective on life.
It's good. My sister's someone who's always like, I love the rain. I don't know why people are complaining. And like I said, like if you were in a drought, the rain would be the best thing ever.
Exactly. And it might be gloomy sometimes, but you need the water to grow.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. It makes you appreciate the, I always say, like, the yin and the yang is the best example. And I love that the shirt's black and white, because you don't have light without dark.
Yes.
You don't know good without bad.
Yeah.
I
haven't thought of it like that.
You don't know good
so,
weather unless you have bad weather.
Yeah.
Right.
And when it is good or when it is bad, like, it helps you appreciate the opposite side of things.
And
when you look back at something.
Yeah, we gotta stop saying bad when it's.
I know
when it's climate weather, right? Like when it's raining.
It just is weather.
Yeah,
it's just weather.
It's just perspective.
Just weather. I still say it myself. I'm like, it's kind of a bad day.
Right, but it's can't
do that.
You're wearing the shirt.
I know.
Yeah, no, it is. It's all perspective. Everything. What do you do? How do you? So what's your what do you? I feel like you're like pretty into the mindset, philosophical guy in business. Like how do you keep that mind? Because some people are like, oh, that even you just said, like, you wear the shirt, but you catch yourself in moments. How do you keep yourself grounded?
Well, how do I keep myself grounded? I have 2 little kids, and I'm married, and so my flaws are often exposed inside of that household.
As a leader.
Yeah, exactly. But keep myself grounded. Like, I'm a believer. I'm a Christian, and so my faith is very important to me, and having something higher than myself to serve. So there's a lot of things that keep me grounded. There's plenty of times when I'm wrong, when I'm humbled, when, even if we're talking about business, like real estate, like, you're killing it. Oh, you have 5 closings this month, this and that. All of a sudden, then it's crickets. You negotiated a deal, you beat out 5 other offers, and then Today, or no, yesterday, I got denied on a listing. Usually I win listing appointments and I get those listings. And I got an email at 5:30 in the morning yesterday saying, "Hey, we're sorry, but we're going with the other agent." And it's just like, okay. I
least they
mean,
slept on it.
opportunities to grow and
Yeah.
get better, and to realize, just to remember, like, you're not all that. Like, you're not special. Everybody's like, you're special because you're a human, but like, I'm not special because I'm Nate Shirk, and like,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. No, that's I really can appreciate that. I think I had to make some big changes in business structure for myself, and it is humbling and reminds you that we're not invincible in any way.
yes. And you, how many people do you lead here?
210.
210.
Yeah.
That's admin, agents, all the works.
Yeah, we have about what is the roster right now? Out of 210, a lot of agents like to just hang their license in case they stumble upon a deal.
Yeah.
So I think we have 96 producing, and then
Okay.
and then there's 6 part of the executive leadership team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So on a weekly basis, we probably have, I don't know, we think guys like 60 agents that come through here. Yeah, they come into the office.
That's, I mean, KW is big though.
Yeah. Well, I really encourage it.
Yeah.
I think it's important. Like, to this point, we love and foster in human connection, and it's really hard to do that for not all under one roof.
Yes.
So, like, I just had a team leader from another office call me saying, "Hey, we have someone who's going to be moving into town to your area. Do you have anything virtual?" And I'm like, we really try not to, because then people won't come into the office, and I know people do so much better when they're surrounded by other agents.
Yes.
And so we try to make sure that the community stays strong by limiting their ability to stay in bed and watch from Zoom.
Yeah. That makes sense. I don't know what the stat is exactly, but something about when you sit next to another high performer it's within proximity feet. Yeah. If you're within 25 feet, your production goes up X percentage. And if you're within 25 feet of a bad performer, same thing can happen. Like, and that's just like sitting, not talking, not conversing. So being around, I'm not into woo-woo stuff and the signs and the stars and all that.
But
like,
maybe
being around people are real. People are real and people have impact, and all of that is real about who you surround yourself with. So that's cool that you keep that culture up here.
Well, I have to. I think you have to. We just know it's so important. And is it woo woo if it's real? Like,
I said stars and this and that.
Yeah.
The alignment of something.
but the
No, I do
alignment
not think
of human energy, right? Are we not
I
in
think that
sync
is
right
real.
now,
Yeah,
right?
that's
In
not
terms of
woo-woo.
like, there's an electromagnetic field coming off of your body right now that I'm feeling like we can measure that.
Yes.
Science.
Yes. That is science.
Yeah,
Is
so
science.
it's like that's
No,
a
energy and people are real, and like the smile is contagious.
Yeah.
Courage is contagious, and so is fear and complaining and all that. That's why, like,
the trap.
yeah, not even to always go back to real estate, but like the doom and gloom of what's going on in the market. Who you talk to matters. You talk to 6 different people in a day, and 3 of them are like, the market's going to crash. I'm never going to do a deal again. It's terrible. No, blah blah blah. Like you'll be like, oh no, this is the end of the world. You talk to 3 more people, the other half, the 6, and they're like, here's why I think it's going to get better, and here's what I'm going to do. And say, like, if they're both wrong or both right, like, the same thing is going to happen regardless. So what are you going to spend your time in? So energy and who you talk to, it matters.
Definitely matters. Definitely matters. 2 things came out of that when you said that for me. One, the first and easy one, and for the agents or other professionals that are listening that have people that say, "Hey, I'm waiting for there's some people in our world that we feel like they're just trying to time the market perfectly.
Oh.
They think that they can, right?
Yeah.
And so one of our lenders in here today was saying, I just feel like everyone's trying to time the market. And I say, well, what do you say to them? And it was a very generic answer. And I said, why don't you ask them the question of, how do you know when the market's at its bottom? Like, Nate, I hear you. You're a sharp guy. I know you're smart. You're looking at a lot of things. What are you looking at to know when the market's at the bottom? And it's kind of like well, if you're doing that, well, what metrics are you using so I can help you? And what's going to happen out of that, Nate? I have no freaking clue.
Yes.
Whenever the news tells me, well, the news doesn't know.
Yes.
Right. So I just think, and it's funny because I just had my cousin just did an internship with us this summer, and I think school just started again this week. He just texted me and said, you have a very Socratic like Socrates way of teaching. And I said, what do you mean by that? He goes, because you answer questions with questions. And I'm like, well, it's because I need you to self-discover.
Yeah.
And to your point, like in the market, like if people are trying to say that, well, what metrics are you using?
They make it up.
Right. There was another better thought that came out of that as well. Oh, in the sense of, because going through myself of like, we can't let the market dictate our success, but we do need to watch our numbers and what's going on and know when to trim the fat. I just made a huge change and I let go of my admin last week.
Okay.
Because I wasn't like, if that's an investment, right? However, X amount of dollars go out, how many are coming back? And if it's a 1-for-1 exchange, then that's a lot of time and management that's being spent that could be used on other things, right? So it's like if I'm putting out money, there should be a 2 to 3x return. Tough, and it's real life, but that's where we're using, okay, look at the state of the market. Like if we learn from Gary Keller, he's like, they made it through 2008 because Gary saw it coming and cut expenses way early.
Yeah.
So it's like, not that we want, but it has to determine our strategy.
There's so much more over. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
We can keep our mind sharp, but we still got to also be proactive to what is there and not sink the ship.
The market, I mean, you said the market can't dictate your success, but yet the market obviously has impact on what levels of success or what levels of failure. Mm-hmm. But real estate, life, business is like, regardless of the market, if you just do the things, whatever it is, the results will come. Sometimes if you're doing the things and it's a good market, and whatever market that is, the success comes sooner, or it comes at a more rapid pace, or it comes with more volume. Other times it's like, I've been doing these freaking actions for 2.5 years, and then the things start to come.
It pops.
Yeah, but just like getting the reps in, going to the gym, lifting the weights, stopping eating whatever kind of food, whatever you're trying to do. Like if you just do the reps over and over and over again, the results will come regardless of the market. It just, can you be patient and do the work long enough to make it happen?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a really good point. Which with one of your strategies being social media, I want to talk about that because I feel like you're a little early on that train.
I don't know. You think I'm early on it?
Well, I mean, not
it's
like
been
now,
for a
but
while.
like you've been doing it for longer than most.
Yeah. Yes. I'm super. Boy, where's my social media?
Yeah, like.
And by the way, I'm not good.
No, you're pretty. You've gotten better with your repetition, just as you said.
I've gotten better, yes, and I've just shown up for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And it started. You ever read Tim Ferriss' 4 Hour Workweek?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I used to be a huge Tim Ferriss guy. I went out and met him in California, and got the book signed and all that stuff. But through reading some of his stuff, and then even like I used to watch Casey Neistat on YouTube, and I was fascinated by it. And I used to shoot videos myself a little bit, do dumb skits.
Yep.
Some stuff try and be serious, but like just fun, have fun with it. And then the Tim Ferriss stuff talking about like being willing to be uncomfortable, like going into a Starbucks and being like, my place have 10% off. Well, why? Just asking. Letting them say no, getting rejected. He did stuff like, lay down on the middle of the floor somewhere. Like goofy. Right. I didn't do all that stuff.
But just to create the uncomfortableness.
Being uncomfortable and getting over yourself and dropping the ego, like those are all things I was working on. I thought, okay, I'm just going to start taking videos of myself. So before I even got back into real estate, I was shooting. So I was doing... corporate logistics and VIP services. So I moved down from New York. I sold real estate in New York after I was a teacher and a high school football coach, and sold some real estate. Moved down here. Didn't want to get back into the game, so I had a job that I'm super grateful I was able to do: corporate logistics and VIP services, chartering helicopters, going to NASCAR races, doing all sorts of cool stuff. And I would record stuff like that and make videos, and you do this selfie thing, walking around. It's goofy. But it just made me uncomfortable also because people are seeing me and like, who cares? Who wants to watch this? I don't know. And I started doing that. And then I got into real estate and I kept doing it. And I would try and like shoot self-made vlogs. And I did medium form content, like 5 to 15 minute videos, whether it's a tour or a day in the life or all that. and I did a lot of stories, which always would disappear. And I met a customer at a coffee shop, and she brought her son, and she's like, "You should meet my son." That she ended up buying a house with me, and we still talk to this day. But her son had a small marketing agency. Has since grown exponentially. I've been with him for 3-4 years. So we talked a little bit, and I knew I wanted more. I wanted more consistency and increase the production quality. So we met for a little bit, and I started Anthony Bertonson. If anybody wants his information, I'll send it to you. But he's my guy, and he runs
The accounts for it?
Yeah.
Nice.
So
you're taking it to the next level.
yeah, trying. Well, what you pay for gets done. Like if you're gonna do it yourself,
It's
forget it. You might be great for 3 weeks, and then you fall off, then you're back on. You know, if you're going to the gym, but you're by yourself versus if somebody's gonna show up, like just there's accountability, whether it's financial accountability or person or something, it gets done. So I pay him. I'm obviously in the videos and stuff, but he helps come up with ideas, brainstorming. They edit stuff.
it's great.
And it gets
good.
done. It gets done.
It's a system.
Yes, it's a system, and
it works.
Some humor, some educational.
No, your stuff's good.
And so I try.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of times he's like, "Nate, go do this." I'm like, "Friggin', I'm 41 years old. I'm not doing that." Somebody's gonna say like, "But you did this."
Yeah. Well, you
right.
did just do the. Was that actually Sharpie on your face, or what kind of marker did you use for? Nate did a
That was
video.
my wife's eyeliner.
Okay,
stuff.
so it washed off.
Yeah, it washed off quite quick. Yes.
You did a video with. There's a trend going around with agent signs getting Sharpie put on it or whatever, and you did a really funny video with that one.
It worked out, and that, you shoot content too.
Yep.
And that's even this format is cool because the idea is to be educational, inspirational, helpful.
We're shooting one piece of content that will be a week's worth of content.
Yes. See, I need to get it. I want to have a little studio set up and consistently do stuff.
Yeah.
Because then it's also easier to 10x your output.
Mm-hmm.
But so I like the educational. I like being a source of knowledge and insight into things. And those things play well sometimes. But shooting content, people want to see dumb stuff. They just want to be entertained. Gladiator, are you not entertained?
Yeah, exactly.
That is what it is. So I mix that stuff in to try and be funny and get eyeballs and be like, let me see what else this guy has to say. But if you're just goofy all the time, there's agents out there shooting content and they don't sell on nothing.
No, yeah. They got the views, but no sales.
And if that's what your game is and you can make a living doing that, then good for you. But just getting views or just making content doesn't mean you're
it needs to be valuable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think it's there is some, there's a couple food for thought. Gary will tell you, just get the quantity out there. You should be posting 5 times a day.
Yeah.
Right?
And 8 different accounts. I don't have time for that.
Yeah. He's got a whole 1,000-person marketing agency that's helping him get that done. Or there's other food for thought of put the quality out there. So that way there's depth to it. So I think it's a mixture of both. You seem to be doing that, which you focus a lot in the investor space. You're humble about it. Was that a focus intentional? Were you in the investment property space prior to moving down here? Walk us through that, because I think it's a unique thing that most agents are not all crafted or focus on that type of, and I'll call it a specialty.
Yeah, well, a lot of agents will talk about it and be like, oh, you should do this. This would make a great Airbnb. And you're like, you can't even do an Airbnb there. And you'll lose $700 a month if you buy that. So a lot of people talk about it, but don't have real insight or wisdom into it, and they have no experience in it. Not that you need experience to have wisdom. Mm-hmm. They often go together, but I don't think you need to. But I was interested in real estate investing. Everybody's heard of Bigger Pockets. I don't. It's changed a bunch since
back in the
beginning. But back in the day, it was it was it. Yes, it was it. So, and now there's a million other podcasts like it. I was interested in real estate investing because I'm not that smart. I don't understand all the stock market, this, Bitcoin, and this, and do this, and the magic show. I did understand how if I owned this house, that over 30 years it would slowly go up in value, and maybe if I fix it up, it'd become more valuable, and then somebody else could pay for that. I could understand that.
Right, that is simple.
So it just clicked with me, and I knew that was going to be all right. That's my big retirement plan is at. So I bought a couple properties and, flipped a few things to get a little bit more cash flow or cash in hand. I am not a big investor. Like there's people that have, $100, $200, even local people, $25, whatever. Like I'm not a big shot, but I do have experience in short-term rentals, owning and managing mine and others, and long-term rentals, and running numbers and projections, and understanding your cash flow is often, especially today, your cash flow is very deceiving, and it's not really there a lot of times. You make $500 a month or $1,000 a month, and all of a sudden you have a $5,000 problem. There goes your cash flow for 6 months.
Yeah. So how do you remedy that?
Just make more money. I mean, a lot of times it is. You try and see problems before they come up or know they're going to happen. Much like buying a house. Hey, something small. This water heater is getting older. I'm probably going to need a new one in a couple years. All right, that's a couple $1,000 depending on what you're going to do if you're going to hire somebody. This AC, okay, there's 10 grand. Oh, this roof, there's 15 grand, or who knows now, 20 grand, depending on how big a house you have. So trying to see problems before they're going to be there, that is helpful to plan for it. And then just really running your numbers. And at the end of the day, everybody wants to be a real estate investor. Everybody wants to own property. Much less people have the capacity to put funds together. Yes, you can invest in real estate without any money, but they don't have the money to actually put in, or the stomach to go and do it, because it is a risk. No matter what, it is a risk.
You ever read Psychology of Money?
No, I have not.
Morgan Housel.
Okay.
Phenomenal book.
Yeah.
He gets through the whole book, and you learn a lot through the book. He drops
Psychology of Money.
Yeah.
Okay.
He drops all the bombs, the history on how we react to money and your upbringing and like who teaches you about money. Most likely your parents, right? Yeah. And how good were they? And is that really who you should be learning from, right?
Yeah.
But that's gonna build in a tolerance. And then at the end of the book, I'll sum it up. You don't even have to read it. He says the best financial advice is whatever's gonna help you sleep well at night.
Amen to that.
And so if that means putting money under your mattress, then so be it. Put money under your mattress.
I am a big believer in that. So I bought like 3 houses in 2 years, or 4, 3 in 2 years, and it's great and it's all working well. But I mean, I could list $40,000 in expenses from those houses in the last year and a half that have been paid out. Like it gets you stretched, and it's scary, and it's all well and good, but like. Sleeping well at night and having peace is not can't be overstated enough.
Yeah, right.
And yes, there
back
might be
to
something
being grounded, right?
Being grounded and realizing I don't need to be that person. I don't need to put it all out in the line every single time. I know this will get me the biggest return. It has a little bit bigger risk, but like this is more stable and it'll let me sleep a little bit better. So I stretched it, and now I'm like pulled back. I'm reframing a lot of stuff, just creating stability in a lot of areas of my life, whether it be having an assistant, stabilizing cash flow, keeping my house in order. So I'm definitely looking for peace and stability. And then I had a conversation with a friend and hard money lender I've done some deals with. And he's like, Nate, more, because I haven't bought anything as an investment in like a year and a half. And he's like, you are talking to me about deals all the time. Deals are going to come across your desk. People are going to bring you deals. There will be more opportunity. You always think, oh, this is the last big deal. But what I've found talking with him, and just when I look backwards on life, you have a once in a lifetime opportunity twice a year. If you're putting yourself out there and meeting people, having conversations, stretching yourself, and yet staying in your wheelhouse at the same time. And that's just a balancing act. Mm-hmm. So to not panic, there will be deals come. Maybe I would like to have a little bit more, but I don't. That's okay.
Really good lesson in there. And I bring it up. Morgan Housel is shown up twice, because in his second book that I read, which was phenomenal, was called Same as Ever. And it's how history kind of repeats itself. And in the book, he talks about how 1 in a million things happen every day.
Yes. Yes.
Like there's almost 8 billion people in the world.
Yeah.
So 1 in a million divided by 8 billion. Yeah, it's happening a couple times a day.
It happens all the time.
Right.
As if you're out there, I'll put the asterisk, if you're doing something.
Yeah,
So if
yeah.
you're just sitting there throwing nasty hate comments on other people's in life, whether it be literally or figuratively, probably not going to happen for you. But if you are trying, learning, you're reading, you're having the coffees and the lunches and trying things and being willing to fail a little bit, they're going to be out there. They're going to happen.
Yeah. So I just was at Mega Agent Camp, like 5,000, 6,000 real estate agents out in San Antonio. And one of the speakers, Ryan Leake, I talked about this on our mastermind, but he was like, chasing failure has taken me further than chasing success.
Chasing failure has taken me further than chasing success.
And I think it's a really mental thing. And to your point of like being uncomfortable, because in your mind, when you're making decisions, you're like, well, I know I can do this. This will definitely get done. This is safe. I'll be okay. Got it. Success versus chasing failure is, ooh, I don't know everything. That one's a little bit stretchy. I don't, you know what I mean? Like,
not literally chasing failure, but being okay, like knowing
and
it's
chasing
stretching.
the thing of like, this might not work.
Yes.
I don't know all the answers, but I'll choose this path because that path is actually longer than the one of safety and success in your mind. So it's a little play of the mental game. And of course, what we focus on expands. So I'm seeing this everywhere now, right? Like it keeps showing up, and you just mentioned it. So I'm like, okay, but to your point, I really had to think about that. I'm like, okay, what does that mean? Chasing success or chasing failure? Like, and what's the difference? And it's all in the small things in your mind of like, that one's a little scary, but let's just lean into it.
Yeah. And that same principle, which I 100% believe in, and also trying to build peace and stability in my own life, whether that's financial, personal, physically, all of that. Like, those are two colliding things. Like, how do you both? You can do both, and you're probably not going to make a perfect decision every time. But just being aware of the struggle of those both, like being a parent. I mean, you're not sure what the right move is. What kind of discipline do I have for this situation? What do I do for this? What kind of food? All this stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
You're not going to make the best decision, even in investment stuff. Or, hey, do I sell this and put this money over into here? And then actually, if I do that, I'll free up this to go do this big thing. But then I won't have this entry point anymore. It's not about the perfect decision as much as it is the being aware of the struggle of the decision and then making the wisest decision with what you have. And if you have make a 10 out of 10 decision, great. But if you're making 7 and 8s, you're still going to be progressing. Now, if you're barely doing anything, and it's just being aware of the struggle and
it's the action.
Doing the best. Yeah.
It's the action. Right, I get stuck in that. I have too many thoughts I have in a day that are like this is like a thought incubator of just like, well, if I did this and did this and did this and this, and it's like, okay, but which one?
Yeah,
yeah. Which one is the one? Should just gotta bring one into reality out of the hat.
Yeah, and then if you don't make that decision, one of the heaviest weights is an unmade decision. There's an exact quote like that, but when you have 3, 4, 5 things to decide, and you can only pick one of them. And you don't make that decision, and you don't make that decision, and you don't make that decision. That is a weight that you carry.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
So better to make it and move on.
Yeah.
And fix it later.
Yeah, I think there's a lot.
I think.
No, I agree. Even if it's not conscious, on the subconscious, it can show up. I don't remember my dreams much, but recently they've been showing up, and some of them have been like pretty crazy.
Dreams?
Yeah. You remember your dreams?
50-50.
Yeah. I normally don't, like, at all.
Are they like real life dreams, or you're like in outer space shooting aliens with gummy bears?
That would be really cool. No, I mean, the two that are most significant, and I can tie them to lessons and everything we just talked about. The one that I just I'll go back a couple of nights ago. I was in the military. I used to work on C-130s. Never jumped out of a C-130. Okay. But I have since been a certified skydiver later. And I haven't been skydiving in over a year, which is a problem because it's a hobby, right? We should still lean into our hobbies and do them, not let life and business take over. But when you jump out of an airplane, there's a very small window of time to get out of the plane. right? Because you're not gonna be able to make it back to the drop zone, and then you're gonna land in some farmer's field, and not good for anybody.
Or in water with alligators.
Yeah,
Get
right,
out of
exactly. Yeah, not good. And in the dream, like this whole group of people went out, and I remember I was still getting ready, but I was willing to go. And a guy I haven't seen since like middle school was there, and he didn't jump. And I couldn't, however the order was, like I couldn't go until he went, and I got so frustrated because he stopped in the middle of the door. I'm like, go, 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 and the light turned red, which means we couldn't go out anymore because we wouldn't have made it back.
So you're stuck in the plane.
So I'm stuck in the plane. I'm like, now, and I was so irritated because I was riding the plane down. I was like, the lesson was like, don't let anyone hesitate and stop me. Like I should have left his ass in the plane and went.
Okay, so you didn't need to push him out. So
No. But in my mind, for some
splattered.
reason, I was letting his hesitation stop me.
Okay.
And I just took that and was like, you gotta do what's right. Like in that moment, like it was jump.
Yeah.
It would go.
Okay.
So I'm tying that into like taking action.
Yes.
Right. And like we let others get in the way sometimes, or like some things, and it becomes this weight.
Who you surround yourself with.
Right.
If you have a bunch of people that don't jump, it's way easier to be like, well, they're not jumping. I was going to wait for them.
Yeah.
If you're around a bunch of jumpers,
Yeah, you're going.
then you're going.
Yeah, you're not gonna be the one that doesn't go.
Yeah.
Right. So that was like really frustrating. But this other one was like super profound, and just making a big financial decision. I was riding a bicycle up this mountain, and it was a very steep cliff, and there was all these people checking into this what I thought was a hotel. And dreams are weird. Yeah. Essentially, I'm riding a bike along this cliff, and if I would have stopped, I would have fallen down the cliff. So the lesson there: don't stop moving, keep going. And if when I peered inside what I thought was a hotel, it was really just a place where they were renting single cot beds, and there was no separation in room. Like it was just like a giant hallway with all these beds, and it was very smelly in there. Like this was like not even this was like fourth world, if it could be a thing of like the things that was going in there. And I was like, you stop, you end up there. Right, so it was like, don't stop, keep going, keep making those, like, keep pedaling, keep doing what you're doing. And I was telling that dream to my girlfriend. She's like, pretty ironic with the decision that you just had to make. And I was like, you're right, because if I wouldn't have kept making decisions and actions.
So you did make the decision.
I had already made it.
Okay.
Prior to having that dream.
Okay.
But it just like came full circle.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And there'll be another one next week.
Yeah. No, there will. There will. But I just thought, life is really ironic how, I don't even know why I'm sharing dreams, just letting everyone into my head. How your subconscious, that's what I was getting at, will start to try to get you lessons on decisions. And sometimes it might be delayed because maybe it was the pressure that was released and now these thoughts are coming through.
Yeah.
But we gotta back to like energy of people. We gotta watch our own energy.
I do agree. I do agree.
I know we went on a little tangent there, but
well, and I agree with all that. And like I talk about, woo, this and that. I also think like sometimes stuff just is.
Yeah.
And
no bad weather.
It doesn't need to make sense. It doesn't matter if they're all winning and you're not, or they're all losing and you're winning, or to find a reason in the clouds so the palm branches align with a star on a 32nd day of the year, whatever. Sometimes stuff just happens. Mm-hmm. And you've got to keep moving forward with it. Okay. Or if you stop, you end up in a fourth world country in a cot.
Right. Yeah. Very smelly place.
Yeah. You don't want to do that.
No. That's so. I'm just trying to pull lessons out of the things. Like what is that? What? I don't remember my dreams now. The ones I'm remembering are like kind of strange. I wish I was shooting gummy bears out of a gun at aliens, but
I've had dreams like that.
But I think in this business and in life, right? Like we try to separate. I think it's the principle of like conflicting goals.
Yes, but flesh it out for me.
Like being a great dad might conflict with growing your business at whatever. Yeah. Right? That's probably like a very relevant example for you.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like I want both, but they're conflicting. Mm-hmm. So how do I flesh that out? But I think business and life, like it's kind of tough to separate. Like in this profession, it all, just to your point, is. Yeah. Like my business life conflicts with my personal life, and my personal life conflicts with my business life. So that means it's just life.
It is just life. It's just life, and there's value in saying no to work opportunities because you need to do things at home or with your spouse or with your children, or see the game or play the video game with, or throw the football, or whatever it is, like time with them. And there's also value in them seeing you say, hey, no, I can't do this, or I'm not going to come to this, or seeing you at home or working for a goal and to achieve something. And there's value in both of those things. And being aware, I just think being able to be self-aware and reflective and to look back and be like, all right, the last 30 days or so, the last year, the last 2 years, where have I been at? How can I tweak this and get a little bit better? How can I be a little bit more attentive at home? Or I've let my business suffer a little bit because I've been so focused on that. It's okay to have professional goals and to go after things and to make some sacrifices there. So marrying those two things together, and at the same time that you never hear the billionaire who say, oh, I wish I would have worked more at the office. It's always the opposite. Way easier to say that after you have all the money than when you're trying to get the money or trying to get the success or the fame or whatever it is, the accomplishment. Maybe it has nothing to do with money.
So back to our idea of peace, because I just heard this at the of like, how do we know? And a lot of us don't. And I'm working on this myself, right? As we're chasing after goals and all the things. Part of our drive comes from somewhere in our mind, there probably is never enough.
Yeah.
But what if we made the mark of like, that's when there's enough? Because then wouldn't we find peace in that?
No. I mean, you've accomplished goals in your life.
Yeah, of course. But what I'm getting at is that they did a study and they interviewed millionaires, billionaires, didn't matter. And they said, when do you stop? And they said, when I have 2 to 3x what it is. Didn't matter their mark. Didn't matter if they were a 50 millionaire or if they had 150 or they had a billion.
Yes.
It's like when I'm 2 to 3x more.
Yep.
And like part of that chase is that never knowing when there's enough.
And then there's never enough.
But that gets into it. There could be peace in saying when and there's like this, it's like conflicting because there's the arrival fallacy. Just when I have this, then. But it's finding wealth in all 5 areas of our life.
Yeah.
Time, money, spiritual relationships, and health. And identify when are they all full. If we don't identify that, then they never will be.
Yeah.
It's a weird concept I'm working through right now.
We talked about that last week.
Yeah.
It's a great book, 5 Types of Wealth. And again, you're not going to be perfect.
I got to read it. I didn't read it.
You haven't read it yet?
No.
All right. You'll really enjoy it.
Yeah.
You'll really enjoy it. It's funny because even thinking about your own life and like, all right, when I get this accomplished, and it does feel good. I like accomplishing stuff, and I've ridden that high for a while before. But it's like, oh, the first time I'm going to make X amount of dollars. The first time I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do this. And you get to that point and you win or you achieve it or you get the recognition or cash the check or whatever. But then there's more. And so if you don't have other things that are feeding your life, that's the only feeder to your
Purpose,
then, man, you can get empty super quick.
Yeah.
And burn everybody around you.
Yeah. No, for sure. And burn yourself out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's driving you, Nate? I mean, in terms of getting into like the real estate biz, and you're on this all continuous, I can tell, self-improvement journey. You're well read. Like I got a couple ways I want to ask that question. But I think essentially, like, I feel like for most people in real estate, there was something going on where it's like, okay, I'm going to get into real estate.
Yeah.
What was that?
My story?
Yeah. What's your story? How did we get here?
We got here because my wife doesn't like the winter here. But no, so I wanted to coach high school football. And then I wanted to maybe coach college and whatever. And I did. So I coached high school football. But before I started that, I'm like, well, high school coaches in Western New York, I mean, you're going to get 2, 3, 5, maybe you get 10 grand at some school. Like, it's not going to pay the bills. So what schedule works out with that? Oh, a teacher. Okay, what kind of teaching job do I want? I'm not a math scholar, so let me get that phys ed job. So they get paid the same.
Right.
I went to college, graduated, and I got a phys ed job. And I coached high school football for 8 years. But I only taught like 3 or 4 years in that time frame because I taught before I had graduated, or I coached before I graduated, and got the job and worked. And then I was the last PE teacher hired in the district, and then the state came and did budget cuts. We had a pretty state-funded school.
What state are you in at the time?
It was New York.
Okay, yeah.
So they cut 30 jobs, whatever it was. The last person hired at multiple positions. So they cut my teaching job. One of my players' moms was a real estate broker, and she's like, hey, go get your license and come work at the brokerage. So I did. And I was like working in a bar restaurant at the time too. Still coaching high school football. And that's how I kind of dipped my toes into real estate. And just when it was taking off, we moved to Florida. And so I stopped coaching.
Because your wife didn't like winter.
Because didn't like winter. Yeah. Cold. I don't blame her. In hindsight, like all these negative things, like, oh, I lost my teaching position. That was an ego shot. That hurt. It was not scary at the time because I had other ways, I could work at the restaurant. I didn't have a family. So I was not going to be starving or anything. But it sucked because now how am I going to coach? Okay, I can still coach. But then it started to open the door. The bad thing opened the doors to other things. And I got into real estate. And like, oh, I can make a good living. Can't set your own schedule, really. But, you can create boundaries.
It's a
but
myth.
Yeah, it is a very big myth. So I got into real estate. It was just taking off. Too cold. We'd just gotten married. So like, all right, we'll find a job. 2 days later, oh, I found a job at USF St. Pete. She worked at a community college in New York. So she applied, she got the job. 2 weeks later, I drove her down with her car full of stuff. She stayed with her aunt and uncle in Madeira Beach. And I flew back home, packed up our house, sold the house, and then drove a U-Haul down. And that's where I was frustrated because I had just built up my real estate business. And it was like, I'm a real estate agent. And like people are starting to think Nathan Shirk, real estate. And I didn't want to start all over again, man. I did not want to start all over. So I got involved with this corporate logistics job, and that was awesome. I got a really good friendship out of it. I'm still great friends with him. Gary Wilbur took me under his wing. Learned a lot about customer service, over-delivering, exceeding expectations, planning for contingencies, because you're dealing with somebody that's about to give you $25,000 for their lunch date to fly their wife to Key West, eat lunch, and fly back, or whatever it is. So that was it exposed me to a lot of cool things. And I'm very grateful for that opportunity. Then, so 2017, beginning of 2017, my wife was pregnant with our son, and I was like, I kind of want to get back into the game a little bit. So I got my license, and for the first couple years, I was being the stay-at-home dad. My wife went back to work at USF, and I had our son at home. We'd have a babysitter here and there, but I was growing my business. And we had our second kid, doing the same thing, and then COVID is happening, and my business was taking off, and it was good. And my in-laws would help; they'd take the kids. We'd have a babysitter, but it's hard. I'm with them. So COVID happens. Everybody's got to work from home, and whose job's more important? Oh, I've got a meeting here. I've got a showing here. I've got this and that. And we weren't arguing all the time, but there was tension because, like, you're having all these meetings. You're doing this. Like, who's got to do what? The kids are needy. And we want to be good parents, and we want to be good workers. Mm-hmm. So we put a plan in place to, like, trust in the Lord that, hey, this is a risk, but this is what we think is best for our family. The plan was always 5-6 years from now for her to leave her job and be able to be a stay-at-home mom. But we just weren't there yet. So we pulled some strings. We worked some things out. She quit her job. Halloween was her last day, like 4 or 5 years ago. And
said, okay, now you got to double down on it.
Yeah. And so I doubled down in real estate. She was able to be a stay-at-home mom, and it's been a blessing since then. Not without its ups and downs.
Of course.
But it really helped when you can have clear expectations. And when the lines aren't muddied, it doesn't mean that I don't help do the dishes or do line. It's not like people are gonna be like sexist this, blah. No, like that's how we set it up. But when, hey, I know my job is this, and your job is this, inside of this job being our family, it really helped us, and we started to thrive. And sure, we have our own issues like everybody else, but that's been a huge blessing for both of us and our family.
Yeah, you just define roles, and what I heard in there is exactly what we talked about: is chasing failure over success.
Yes, and it was scary. Let me tell you what, it was scary because
now all the weight was on your shoulders, right?
Exactly.
Talking about sleeping at night.
And I liked always being able to. I still give this line to people all the time in an email, in an individual meeting. Because the bottom line is everybody gets their real estate agent, their real estate license, thinking they're going to start collecting $10,000 checks. and it doesn't happen. But I tell people all the time, I'm very grateful that I don't need you to buy this house or to sell this house to pay my bills next month. It doesn't mean I don't want the business. This is how I provide for my family. But I'm not going to put you in a bad position as a result of my need for a paycheck. And I can say it with confidence. And that was scary to do that back then. But it was easy at first because we had her job and I was making enough and it was perfect. But then when that was done and it is just me, like, do we have a big enough safety net? Can I still do a good job for them to kind of make sure I'm not putting people in bad positions, not just to get a deal?
Putting the customer first.
Yeah. So, but it's been very blessed and very grateful and very humbling because it's like I didn't ever picture life like this. I mean, it's awesome.
So let's go back. So it's because I think those that are listening right now are like, I need that autonomy. I'm scared to cut the tie on this thing, but it's like you guys essentially snipped the cord on your balloon and your balloon took off in the air. I don't know why I'm using that analogy. That's what I'm just thinking of, and it worked out. But what were you doing, Nate? Because you just said you moved here, like you had some time. Like what was the difference where you're like, okay, wife has a job, I'm doing okay, to shoot, now it's just me. So how did your behavior change? What did your mindset do? Like what got you to, your best year and, almost 20 million in real estate? What happened? Like market was on your side, but you did. I
mean,
looked
the market
at
was on my side, yeah.
But I looked at your. I mean, you had like I can probably tell you without even having the story of like, oh, Nate made a change here just because of your production.
Yeah. So, I mean, the phrase like when luck meets preparation, whatever. I don't even know the quote.
Yeah, but yeah.
Similar to going back to our conversation about things happening and once in a million lifetime opportunities come out twice a year. Like that happened to me multiple times because I was putting myself out there. Now I'm not special. I'm not the smartest person. I'm not the most skilled, whatever. But I would put myself out there. All the stereotypical stuff, yes, open houses and this and that and office hours and talking to people and asking questions. It was helpful that I had experience in the past and I had sold a bunch of homes in New York. So I knew how to be an agent and I was good at talking to people and relating to people. But just getting the reps in here. And when I started to make some money, I didn't just go buy a new car or, lease the white BMW, all those things. I put it back into the business.
In what area? What was your lead gen?
I bought lead gen, so I did do lead gen. I wouldn't do it now because the market has changed so much.
Like you bought like Zillow leads or something?
I bought Zillow. What did I do? I had success with Zillow leads because of the downstream from that. You make one sale, you might break even for that month, but then you get a referral or they're another customer 2 years later. So the downstream was powerful. But I just kept getting my name out there. I shot videos. I did build a business on through social media. But it's not like I'm selling 20 houses a year. When I hear people say, yeah, we sold 14 houses off Instagram, I'm like, I know that you did not. you just mostly, you didn't.
Yeah.
But it did help grow my business. And then, so I bought that, but I spent money on lead gen. I'm like, all right, I need to make some more money and capitalize on this. And I reinvested back into the business. And then I bought leads for 2 years. And meanwhile, I'm still running 2, 3, 4 opens a month. I'm doing all of the things. So, and I could total up, all right, I got 7 deals off Instagram. I did 4 deals off open houses that year. I had 13 closings from Zillow. I had 15 closings from just my sphere, church, whatever it might be. So, and then I think 2022, the end of 2022 is when I stopped buying leads. 2023 for me was a terrible year. And 2024 is coming back. So it was like once I started making some money, 2018, 2019, I just invested back in my business, trying to get better.
What do you attribute to your down year in 24 or 23? 23, yeah.
But not filling the pipeline. Not that I didn't do work. I still would do open houses and I would do stuff. But the bottom line is I did not do enough in terms of keeping in touch with people. And there were less people doing it. I'm not afraid to say, like, yes, is there somebody had their best year ever in 2023? Sure there is. From LOs to agents, yeah, it wasn't me. So I didn't do enough work to fill that pipeline ahead of time. And the reality of it was a very hard market. There was less houses sold than in the crash of '08. You know, all of the stats you want to give.
Yeah.
It was hard. It was hard.
Well,
I started dabbling in some. I bought like a post company. I sold that.
So your focus kind of went some other.
Started to be a little bit more of a spotlight instead of a laser.
Yep.
You know.
Well, I think it's just important to highlight sometimes, and I knew you would be. I felt like you'd be okay with it, sharing that because we always hear of like, oh, I did this, and this to get success, but to say, oh, I had a bad year. To your measure, right? Your comparison of like, okay, well, let's talk about why, because then we can learn, right? There's wisdom out of that of like, yeah, I didn't do these things, right? Okay, let's not do that again.
Exactly, right? Yeah. Be focused on doing one thing, and
you ever read that book?
The one thing. I don't think I've ever finished it.
I go back to it sometimes. I'm like, dang it.
I've probably read the first quarter of it 5 times.
Right.
You know, and just
I wonder what's in the back 3 quarters.
I know. I got to keep going on it. Yeah. So it was definitely some personal responsibility, just some market stuff, chasing some other stuff.
Yeah.
And it's cool. Everybody wants to flip a house or do this and that, and you can make some big chunks, but the money you might make in one flip, if you just put that same amount of effort into finding former customers to serve, you probably make more money, less risk, and then those customers will feed you more deals in the future.
Right. So it's like that's literally what it came down
hard.
to. It's this cost benefit analysis of like, okay, if my time's not going here and going here, what's that return versus what the return would be here?
Mind you, I'll still do a flip, but it just you got to be aware of it.
Send Nate some deals.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I think that's as and you know as agents they say we all are a victim to the shiny object syndrome, right? Like you're like, oh well, I could get the post company, I could do this, I could do that, where maybe and then it's a real test of how well is our systems built to sustain what we currently built.
Yes,
right. Because if I take my focus away, is it going to alter the business? And there's lessons in that.
There's very big lessons in that.
Right.
Same people that jump brokerages every 6 months or 8 years make a big announcement. Like, you weren't doing business before that. You weren't doing business before that. Or if you were, like, why? The consumer doesn't care.
No, they don't.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Now, that culture might have you're developing you have a culture here. Like, that might impact you in a positive way.
That's what I found is matter. Like, if we're to, like, strip down, because of, you know, what culture matters the most.
Yeah.
Because some I've heard, like, some cultures are not collaborative. They're more competitive. They don't bring people together. They don't care for their people. They don't looking out for their success. Like that, like agents that can come in and say, "Hey, I want to be able to do this training, but I can't afford it." And another agent steps up and pays for it. You know, like that's rare.
Well, that's something else totally. Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's cool. Like there's like agents are like, I understand what it was like in the beginning, and so helped me, so I'm gonna help you. You know, it's like pass it forward. You know,
or give them tips and tricks and like my video guy, this or that. Like am I gonna lose business from it? No. And not everybody's going to make the same type of videos. Not everybody's going to do this.
No, it's like a big... see,
maybe
even
you
if,
shouldn't make videos.
Even if I told you everything
I
did, you're not going to go do it.
Exactly. That's the bigger. That is the bigger thing.
Yeah.
Like, and there's so much free information out there. There's so much free information out there.
We have a book of one-page playbooks that's this thick. There's like 3 books now of like all these different strategies. And I know...
For growing a real estate business?
Yeah. Like step by step of everything that you need to do. And agents will try it for a week, and then they'll flip the page, and they'll try another one. They'll flip the page, and they'll try another one.
Hot brokerages.
Yeah. I mean, it's...
Because people don't want to do the work.
Well, I think people... I don't know if I love that saying, because it's so easy to say. And I'm having this thought right now. This is fresh Ryan thought, so we're getting it live. I think that's easy. I think people do want to do the work. It's the consistency and discipline of the same work that becomes redundant. So then we look for other work to do.
They don't realize the road that...
It's like if I told you, Nate, like to run a marathon, you just got to get up, put your shoes on every day, and put the miles in every single day. You can't go do the run and then say you're going to go do Pilates and then say you're going to go do this and then say I'm going to eat salads only and I'm going to do that. Like, no, just go put the shoes on and just go get the miles in. Well, that's boring.
Yes,
I think that's especially in a day now. I mean,
it's microwave theology. We need things right away. Oh,
Well, and because I mean, I'm getting into a little like social media has rewired our dopamine reward system to, well, if I get bored of this work, I can just go to social media. I can get dopamine. Now for a moment I feel better. Now I feel worse. Then I go to social media again to feel better, and it becomes.
But I'm watching inspirational stuff. I'm watching.
Yeah,
a real
I'm getting.
estate coach.
I'm seeing. I'm looking for deal. I'm staying in touch with my sphere. Like we start to, because the
Yes.
brain will lie to us.
Yes.
Our own brain will lie to us, and we forget that, right? And then we're in our own world of like, oh, well, it's fine, because we cloud the thought with like it's fine. I can do this. I worked hard. I made 3 calls a day. I can scroll.
I made 3 calls today.
Yeah, it felt like 30.
I just watched this person, and it looks like they have this overnight success that took them 15 years to get there.
Yeah. If I just post videos like Nate, I'll be good. And so what do? I post 1 a month.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Like, and I'm victim of like a lot of these things, so that's where I can talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's important to just peel back the onions and just be real. So I think people are willing to work, they just get so distracted. I think it's distractions are the thing.
Yeah.
Because I watch agents that come in here day after day sometimes, and they're in the same spot that they were a year ago. They're showing up.
They're showing up, but not doing the work.
Because there's
they want
not
it
there's
to be
not
easy.
There's not the no. I think people are still trying to treat this like a job, and that they need the boss to tell them, "Give me back this."
That's fair.
Right. So it's the self autonomy that's like everyone gets into the industry thinking, "Oh, I want to be my own boss," but then they really don't know how to be their own boss.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm just trying to like strip that apart a little bit, because I think it's easy to just say people don't want to do the work.
Yeah.
I think it's like there's some other skill set that's needed.
Well, that is fair. It's like people. Yeah, it's a matter of definitions, maybe even, but it's like somebody that's trying to lose weight. Like, they want to lose weight, but they're not willing to do the work. Changing your definitions.
It's programming.
But
We've done this.
It's hard because it has to be done over and over and over. And
Yeah.
over again, with maybe no success.
Atomic Habits. James Clear would say it's because we
Yeah.
have to change our identity,
Yeah.
and that's really hard.
Yes.
Right. And so there's a great analogy that we talk about. Megan, how are we doing on time? Because I know you got to go. Yeah, got to wrap it up. Okay. PITFAR. Have you heard of PITFAR?
No.
Okay. PTFAR.
Okay.
Programming, thoughts, feelings, actions, results. What's the R? Oh, no. Yeah. Not writing it down is tough. Essentially what it is like the way our brain works.
Yeah.
Goes back to, we have programming in the like early ages, 0 to 7, of how we view the world and the way we see things and all that. From that, programming creates feelings. From those feelings, we have thoughts. The thoughts lead to actions. Actions lead to results. So it's like when you want to make a major change, you got to go all the way back and change your thoughts and feelings, and sometimes even your programming. And that takes a lot of deep work to get that far back. Where sometimes we don't go far back enough, and it's like, oh, I want this result, I just have to change this action. Well, what's driving that action? How do you think about it? How do you feel about it? What's your programming about it? And that's where I think having coaching conversations with people is helpful, and that's where I do answer questions with questions.
Yeah.
Because the only way to get into your programming or thoughts and feelings is for you to self-discover.
Yeah.
So it's like, I can tell you what to do, but until you self-discover it, you're not going to do it.
And or who cares about your feelings? Just do the work. No, I mean,
Yeah,
well,
but it's your
both sides
thought about it.
Who you're surrounding yourself. Oh, that person is 25 feet away from me. I never
Yep.
even speak to them, but they're a worker.
Yep.
So, like, if you're trying to get better and you're not getting better, maybe do a gentle self-audit. How can you say you're not going to kick anybody out of your circle, but can you add somebody else in that will help you get a little bit better?
Yeah.
It's like surrounding yourself with winners.
Just for a second, because I want to keep going. Have you got time?
I got a
yeah.
few
Can
minutes,
Danielle
yeah.
just pop over? Danielle, I hope you were watching. Sorry, we're just going to swap out producers here because one has to get to an appointment, and we honor that. So thank you, Megan, for everything you do.
Sorry, Megan, for making you late.
No, I was just watching the clock here. And Danielle, you get a quick 10-second tutorial on flipping cameras. The reason I want to keep talking, Nate, is because I want to know like what your thoughts are going forward. We haven't talked on AI yet. There's a few other topics I had in my
I'm
pocket.
not as smart as AI as you are.
Well, people are like putting me in that bucket. I'm getting phone calls about it, and it's like I still have so much to learn because there's like a next level. Yeah, I'm diving into
Like the
AI,
implementation
well,
part?
AI agents. Yeah, so let's just talk. Thanks, Megan.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. Much love. Bye bye. Oh, don't forget your water. Stay hot.
I'll have him cut it.
Okay.
So you're fine.
Okay. Stay hydrated. Good.
Gallon jug. Yeah.
You know, we just at that conference I was at in San Antonio, so much talk of AI, but a lot of it was around in how we're prompting. Just make sure you're using it. Blah 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 blah. Like if you've been using it for the last year, you're like, okay, neat, got it. Like, okay, I never maybe didn't think of that prompt, but I'm taking it. I'm now looking at the next level of. There's all these different AIs that do cool things, and there's software to get them to talk to each other. So, for example, you fill out something on my website saying that you're interested in a property. What normally happens, I maybe get an email saying I got a new lead. Well, now what do I have to do? I now have to call that lead, figure out what they want. Well, what if, and there's already solutions that are doing this, that lead comes in, puts in their information, an AI bot calls them, qualifies them, runs it through. Sounds pretty much like a person. They wouldn't really know unless they know. Takes that recap, puts together an email, sends it to them. The recap already tees up. Like there's sees
the opening in your calendar, and so schedules an appointment there.
Boom, 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 boom. And the only thing that happened is
I mean, I'm far away from that.
But that knowing that right now that technology exists to do that.
Yeah,
fascinates me, and I'm like, oh, that's what we need to figure out.
Yes,
because that's the next level. Like, yes, how to prompt chat and do all that and use different AIs to answer the same question, cool. But how do I actually really save time in my business and streamline to where I can go to Italy for a week and things are still running?
Yeah,
because there's in the realm they're saying in the next 2 to 3 years there will be somebody who builds $1 billion company with only 2 to 3 people.
Sure.
Because of these AI agents. I just saw a thing last night that has me fascinated, is that there's the gentleman who was the CEO of Twitter before Musk bought it.
Okay.
Peter...
Jack...
No. You're thinking that was the original guy, the founder. No, this guy was like Peter something. I can look him up. Elon fired him. The guy went dark. And in that time was realizing what was going on in the AI space, realized AIs right now have to interact with the internet and things as we would.
Yeah.
Visual, they got to click this, do this, right? It's not intuitive for a computer.
Okay.
It's intuitive for us because we're humans. So he's developed essentially another layer to the internet that's creating it to be more AI friendly. So that way the AI can find the information that's on the internet way faster.
So the machines can come and kill us all.
Yes. Yes, exactly. So as I'm pulling back the layers on this, I'm like, there's way more of this coming, and we're so early, but this early is not as going to take as long as the .com era.
Yeah, I'm with you on the people are like, oh, you're already far behind. Sure, there's people way ahead, but it is still so early.
Still early. It's like you're still like piecing together like a computer system, and you don't like it's not all put together
If the
yet.
normal runway is 30 years, maybe this is only 15, or maybe it's 6. But it's still early enough. I am of the mindset, I could very well be wrong. It's still going to be longer than a lot of us think, but yet shorter than... I don't know. What do I know? I'm making this up on the fly. I'm a real estate agent.
Yeah. We're real estate agents, but I think it's really prominent to our industry. Where a lot of agents are one-man bands.
Yes.
It's like, well, how do I do more at a cost, right? In terms of, do I need a physical person? Which I know, like, look, we want jobs and all the things, but the internet created a bunch more jobs for people that weren't there. So AI should do the same. And... you know, as we're getting more automation, people want more human involvement as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do I blend?
And that will help us. It'll help producers take over more market share. It'll.
That are figuring out. Like, imagine being the
it'll just
agent
do of what it's already doing. Like, I don't think anything will change. Producers are still now. Yes, there'll be some high level people that don't do anything and they just get phased out. But
yeah, you don't be the blockbuster.
The people that don't do anything are going to continue to not do anything, but with AI.
Yep.
And the people that already do something are going to do even more.
Yeah.
With AI.
Yeah.
That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah. It's funny. I can't wait to look back on these in 5 years from now and be like, God, you guys had no idea what was going on. Like, that's why I like having these conversations and record them, because it's like, imagine talking about the internet in 1999. Be like, do you have an email?
Yeah.
Right? You don't send letters anymore? No, I got this digital thing.
Yeah. It's funny to think about, like, oh, you guys were still so juvenile in your approach to what AI. Oh, you guys are talking about two softwares talking to each other to do an intake form. Are you kidding me?
Right.
Like,
It's already been doing that, but now it's like what before is this,
which is high end to me. I mean,
yeah.
like,
Before you need to be a coder and
Yeah.
understand coding. Now you don't.
Yeah.
That's the big
Yeah.
difference. Is that more people are going to be able to make more tools, and we don't know what those tools are going to
What
look
those
like.
tools are going to be, and the new jobs that come with it. It's like, but it will phase things out. It's one. So right when I got into that corporate logistics job that I had when I came to Florida, like 12 years ago, Uber was around, but it was really coming on more mainstream.
This is like 2013.
Yeah, give or take. So, and the industry I was in, it'd be like this. All right, the top 100 Ford dealers and I'm half making this up, but this is a good perspective. The top 100 Ford dealers in the country are going to come to the Daytona 500, and we're arranging black car service for all of them, chauffeur drivers. Maybe there's 4 of them in one, there's 2 in one, whatever, but it's all black car service. And then, instead of 100, it was only going to be 50. The others are going to get travel vouchers. They can Uber themselves, or they can get a bus, or this. And then the year after that, it's 20. I'm making those figures
Right,
up,
but you saw it
But I
dwindle.
saw the industry change, and my boss, the owner of the company, and my friend, he's like, it's unbelievable how the industry shifted in a matter of a handful of years.
Yeah, because you guys were probably getting paid to book those services for them and everything
Yes,
else.
we
and
put
all
a
this-
markup on it and
right,
all that.
Right, and so now you're like, they're doing it themselves.
Yeah. And are there still professional drivers, chauffeurs? 100%. There's still limousines. There's still
But that's
SUVs, all that.
small,
But it's
small.
way smaller.
Yep.
And people still want them, and people still have their personal drivers or whatever. And that, I still think, just because it hasn't happened yet, the same thing is going to happen with agents. Like, and it might be 20 years from now, but there will be people just phased out, especially with this tech. I don't think agents are going to go away, but I think it will become just less, because it will be hard to get. Certain people are going to have massive market share because they're going to be able to do so much. Because
Yeah,
of the
that's
tech-
going to be
tech
that's
involved.
going to be the thing. People will still be involved, but the market share will be different.
I
think
wish they'd
that-
make it harder. I wish that they would make it harder.
Yeah. I think teams are going to be like they've been saying. Like I think just the real estate teams that are killing it will just continue to do it. I don't know. It's really interesting because they try to do it with iBuyer programs. There's always been these things that have come out to try to wipe the agent out, and yet we're still here.
Yes.
Still resilient. So that's been like Gary Keller's approach of like, as long as you're adapting with the times, right, and staying ahead. You know, I said there's still this weird thing, and people are gonna laugh at this. Like, there's like a stigma of like, oh, I don't want people to know that I used AI.
Oh.
You know, like
yeah.
like
Yes.
like an email reply, or this flyer was put together with AI. So people were like
Your
trying to
entire
hide.
listing description.
Right, they're like trying. Oh, I don't want anyone to know. I'm working with a gentleman right now who's very smart, very heads. I'm 50% convinced he's working with me because he knows I'm using AI. Because it's like those who are with the times are like, you better be.
Yes.
Right? It's like being an agent back and be like, yeah, I don't post on social media.
Yeah.
You're like, well, I'm not hiring you.
But, and this is what I mean, though. So I don't mean that the actual agent will disappear. It just, they will continue. There'll be more and more agents who don't make a living. So they'll get their license. They'll do 0 to 3 deals a year, which is what it is right now. What's the stats? 50% of agents didn't sell a house last year.
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
it
I
is.
know, it's
I just
crazy.
think that's going to be more of that, and people that are willing to chase the failure and learn the AI and screw something up and then get better, like they're just going to continue to get a bigger piece of the pie.
Yeah.
That's what I'm.
I think
talking about.
so.
And
I
they'll,
think
they
so.
can
The
still
more-
lead a team.
Yeah.
They'll create the infrastructure around them. They'll surround themselves
Yeah.
as winners. And I could be wrong. I've been wrong once before, but
No, it's good thought. I'm really trying to watch and how it's affecting different industries. I want to go to it, and I almost did. I had something come up. I had conflicting conferences. There was an AI conference in New York. I really wanted to go to
And it
outside
wasn't-
of real estate.
yeah,
'Cause
that would be interesting.
because I want to see how the rest of the industries are talking about it, using it, what the brainiacs are talking about. Yeah.
And even like the AI into the robot that can now go in and crawl behind your AC and actually fix your AC because it has a camera on it and it can see, and it's
I
doing a
think
blue collar job.
that's
gonna happen too.
that's going to be a weird place. I was just thinking when you're like, we're talking about once in a million year happens twice a year.
Yeah.
I do think and this is where that shiny object in me have a conflicting thing. Is like I'm like, we're like in a gold rush moment right now. I feel like.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do I capitalize on it?
It's taking over the market share. That is how do you capitalize on it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Being willing to screw something up, not screw something up like mess up somebody's transaction or not do something legal, but being willing to fail.
Yeah, I'm going into the space and like I'll be curious if anyone has any insight or that like, and I'm taking notes and thinking out through ideas of how do I use AI to create a system to help agents be more successful. Like being in my position of having 210 agents, knowing that I have only 50% that are in production. What's a tool that can be created to keep agents productive? And that's where I'm like in this, and I don't know. I kind of know. I have an idea.
Can you share the idea?
Yeah. Because I think it's really hard to execute right now. Back to distractions.
Okay.
You got to create an environment to remove distractions. And so you almost like, it almost has to be like in a virtual reality world or like an augmented reality where imagine if you had glasses on and if you weren't doing the right thing, it like X'd it out all red.
Okay. Yep.
You know what I mean? Because like in my head, I'm like, because I have so many thoughts, right? I'm an intuitive thinker. My favorite thing to do at night before is just to sit in silence with my thought, like meditation, and I just put thoughts together. I'm like, it would be so neat if I could just throw my thoughts like out around me, and seeing like, oh, well, this one could match with this one, and I could start to right. We kind of already do that. You can do it on paper or whatever, but in a virtual reality world, it would be cool, and I can imagine having some type of augmented reality where it's like if I go to pick up my phone and it sees I'm on social, it's like,
well, they got apps and stuff like that.
Yeah, but like they're so easy to go around.
Yeah, I actually played around with it for a while. I can't remember the name of the app. I'll text it to you if I find it. Clear, whatever. You set it up. You lock it to your phone. You put whatever apps in there that you want to control, and
you can't get around it.
Yeah. So if you delete the app. So I had mine set up for push-ups. Every push-up I would do would give me a minute.
How would it know if you did push-ups?
Because you set your phone down and the camera comes on and it measures your body. It tracks your head.
Okay. This is what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Okay?
This is what I'm talking about.
I'd have to rep out push-ups.
Yeah.
And I would start doing that. And I would have my minute stuff. But then, like, I had 7 deals for $4.5 million last year from, like, I can directly relate to Instagram. I'm like, this is how I earn a living. I got to be able to be a little bit more spontaneous. It gets exhausting doing stuff sometimes, or like you don't want to share stuff. But so I got rid of it. I just didn't like how maybe I'm lazy. Maybe if I just every morning crank out 100 push-ups, I'd have time. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's one way to look at it. That's exactly
stuff.
Okay, like, in the realm of what I'm thinking of like.
So you just need to control your agents better. You need to crack the whip.
But I just imagine an AI world that's a little more intuitive to guiding them in the things of like what they need to do today, or some type of accountability piece. And I'm sure it kind of exists, but I can imagine that there's definitely some additional tools that would be more intuitive to knowing what did you do today. For example, I don't have it on today because I only wear it when I wear a jacket, but I have this pendant. It's called Limitless that records essentially every conversation I have throughout the day.
Okay.
And then the AI will assess all the conversations, tell me where I could have been more empathetic. This was good. This was an action item that came out of the day. And so knowing that my prediction and knowing things that are happening in the AI world that's coming down the pipeline is that everything we do throughout a day will be monitored and put into an AI algorithm that's assessing us. So I'm like, how can we just do that for agents so that way at the end of the day they get their gold star or unlock something that says you did all the things that you need to do today to be productive. You added one person to your database. You made 5 contacts. You wrote a note card. You did your social media posts. You have it's like productivity coach. It's like a coach that is digital. I don't know how to create it, Nate. I'm just saying it'd be cool.
I know. I just think all of that. I don't think that exists, but I think that exists. I think people get emails. You sign up for calendar alerts. You have the motivational posts of the day. I think people are flawed. We are all flawed. And those of us who can not win every day because we are human beings, but you win, you lose, you try and get better. You need to be conscious of that and continually going after. I think regardless of what AI app is developed, the same thing will happen.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I think water takes the path of least resistance, and people take the path of least resistance, and That's what I think. I mean, I think what you're doing is cool, but because
I'm not doing shit. I'm just talking about an idea.
You're talking about it, but your goal is to motivate, to elevate, to lift. We want to be the rising tide that lifts others around us.
Yep.
And I mean,
You know,
I don't know. There's some people that are sinkers.
well, there has
I
to
don't
be.
mean that. It's
There
just
has
like,
to be.
yes, there is. That is humanity.
Even if they were great, someone else will be greater, which then
Yes.
right. It's like
Yeah.
records continuously get broken.
And maybe they're just gonna be great at something else, not this.
Yeah, it's no fault against them, right? It's just maybe you're not in your craft. It's like if you want something, a sense of accountability, you want to get fit in the gym, hire a trainer.
Yes.
My idea is like, if you want to be a great real estate agent, could there not be an AI agent that helps you be a great agent?
Yes.
So I think it's but I get what you're saying.
I just think it's human nature to weasel out of stuff, and then there's some people that are.
So we need to put like a shocker
The killers.
on people. Like if you don't,
Dude, there's people that do that. You sign up for a thing. Hey, we're all doing this. Everybody putting $100 in, or like.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's
I mean,
accountability
crazy,
groups.
that's
Yeah.
Tim Ferriss stuff too. He's like,
Yep.
he like crazy stuff. He had a Jewish friend that wanted to do this stuff, and he's like, all right, if you don't do this, you have to donate $1,000 to the Nazi party.
Yeah.
Like that's psycho. So like,
Yeah.
I don't want to do that, so I'm gonna make sure I
Right,
do these things,
right,
or
right.
like,
Yeah.
that's a motivating factor for people. Just finding that motivating factor, and it's different for so many people. So to have an AI agent, like that's got to be super personalized. I don't know. Yeah, I like where your
it's
head
coming.
is at. Like,
Here's a fun fact for like Joni. I think it's Joni Ivy. I might be butchering his name. He was the product designer for Apple for many years, back to when Steve Jobs was there. He's been with the company for a while. He recently just created his own company. That company just got hired by Sam Altman, who owns OpenAI. So if you have one of the most popular, because I won't say
this is so crazy to me. Like tech is so wild.
yeah. So if you have one of the most, if you have the most market share, you're a multi-billion-dollar company. You're getting contracts with the government, and now you just hired one of the, would say, the best product designers in the world. What does that mean? You're coming out with a physical product. It's not going to be the iPhone. It's going to be something that is observing and helping you throughout your daily life. That is with you 24/7. Knowing how. I've read enough about him. I've watched how the Apple has been designed, and now that guy is over at OpenAI. I'm like, the iPhone as we know it, I believe we will not be using it in 3 years or less. Like the iPhone will become the pager.
And when you say iPhone, you mean smartphones,
Yeah.
or is not like Android?
I think
whatever.
Apple
You just-
is aware of that, and they're probably working on something as well. But they're they at least from a market like what's released to the public are so behind in the AI space.
Okay.
Siri is about as smart as a
Yeah.
a 3-year-old, right? I don't know. I think there's this huge disruption right now where we could see Apple value start to come back. Depending on the delivery of a product, there in some universe,
I don't disagree.
That
with you.
happens.
I mean, everybody gets too big for their britches. At the same time, Apple is like one of the most cash-rich companies.
No, yeah, they
can
have
just go
all the
buy
resources, but the problem, what happens with that, and what Steve Jobs was so good of like when innovating, he wouldn't allow, and who knows if they're doing this because they keep their doors very tight. But the when the Macintosh was created, that was created by a team outside of the corporate office. They had their own office. They didn't have to follow the rules. They didn't have to dress the same way everyone dressed. They weren't restricted with the bureaucracy of the big company, so they could do the crazy things that maybe wouldn't have
less red tape for them to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could be innovative. They were trying to put themselves out of business.
So you're saying Apple could have their AI field doing that right now?
But maybe they forgot, right? Like you don't know. Like if you're not behind the wheel, like Jobs was a maniac.
Yeah.
You know, is Tim Cook saying, "Hey, here's $1 billion, but go to New Zealand and go figure some shit out." I don't know, right? Like don't be near us because we're going to influence the decisions that you're making, and you're looking at it with a clouded view and trying to be safe because you don't want to lose your job.
Yeah, that is true. Like the
Yeah, when you're a startup, you're like, we
black
got to
book
figure
of
this out because we got
something.
like it's all chips in.
that is interesting to think about, and then Apple just comes storming back to the scene with some massive AI rollout.
I don't know.
And what is all gonna? Are we all gonna have the chip in our head when
Yes.
we sync the internet?
No, that will happen. I can send you a video that'll tell you, and you will come back.
Well, I know I've seen some of the videos of the paraplegic, like the cool stuff that you can
Did you
directly
see the most
translate.
recent one?
I've seen ones where a guy is like moving a cursor, not even with his eye, was just twitching my eyes. He was literally staring at the screen.
So no,
thinking
these
the
guys are
cursor
playing
going.
Call of Duty together now.
Yeah,
It's beyond moving a cursor.
I'm about to play Call of Duty tonight. I could use some of that. Actually.
They're getting to like, and you think about how many movements there are on
Yes.
a controller. These guys are doing that with their mind with Neuralink right now. The update just came out 4 weeks ago.
But okay, but can you search? My question. This is how illiterate I am. Can you think the internet? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
So they haven't tapped into the visual cortex yet, but they're working on it
So if we want to say
because they're going to be able to bring blind
Search
people's eyesight back.
yes, that is something. That is something.
So, but if I can bring
valuable.
eyesight back, and I'm showing you this, why do I need to have? Why couldn't the computer just put something that's actually not in front of you? If I can, because if the chip can tap into the visual cortex, I know we're like, look, for the real estate, like if you're not interested, but if you're interested in this, like this is some crazy shit. Because I think it's gonna be really hard for us to get to a point to where we say no to putting the chip in our head. Because Nate, you're 89 years old, you got great grandchildren, and your legs are giving out on you, or you're losing your eyesight, and they say, Nate, I know you've been resisting the chip, but just put the chip in your head, and we'll give you another 20 years plus, and you can go see your kids' recital. You're gonna be
Yes.
like, I'm gonna do it.
Go for it.
What do I got to lose?
That's why those 5 types of wealth. You better have your physical health up there good so you can walk around still.
Yes, exactly. But I think that's where people are like, I'll never do it. I think when reality, when life and your flesh and meat and bones hit the asphalt, you're gonna be like, well,
Yeah.
what do I got to lose?
No, I don't disagree with you. It just like when is that in 5 years? In 15
Well, it
years?
doesn't. Okay, how long until you're 80?
Yeah. What does it matter?
40 years, right? 40 plus, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so think about the innovation that's happened over the last 40 years, and now exponentially, I think of the hockey stick that's going to happen. We're living through a crazy time, my friend.
Yes.
I think every time is a crazy time, but I think about my I'm very fortunate that my great grandmother's still alive. I'm going to see her on Friday, in PA. She's 88 years
What
old.
part of PA?
Central Harrisburg area.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think about, okay, what has she seen over the last 88 years? Whatever that delta is in terms of technological advancement over the next 50 years will be probably 100x what she saw in her 80 years, and we'll get that in half the time span.
I hear that. Sometimes I wonder if the physical is that piece of tech exponentially enough to change the like. Is that bigger than driving a horse and buggy across the country versus driving a truck across the country? Is that jump or the jump of I'm typing on my laptop today, my MacBook or my phone, the tech to I just think the internet. I think when was in 1973 that summer? What was the coldest temperature there? I'm literally just gonna like my eyes roll in the back of my head and think it. Mm-hmm. You think that is bigger?
I think
Or you think the other stuff around it? I think like being able to see.
I think that will be, because one, what does that do for information in terms of learning, right? That revolutionizes so much when it's like, oh, and then now do you have to pay? You're like, oh, I need to know how to fix this thing in my house, where it's like, and you go to the knowledge in your head, it's like paywall.
That's what is fascinating. That or like the social credit scores, like that is the dark horse.
So, but with the Neuralink, if they can tap into that, we could then remote view into a robot that's on Mars. And now I can pick shit up on Mars and act as if it's me, but my body's still here, and it's because the chip is tapped into everything. And why?
Yeah, I don't like that.
So that's where I think,
because it starts to erode it increases human connection and erodes human connection at the same time.
So, yeah, it's gonna get weird. It's gonna get really weird. I don't know. I love thinking about this stuff for some reason, because I'm like, okay, if that's where things are going, there's going to be a business boom in real life, non-digital experiences, and I think they're already starting to show up.
Yeah.
Right? Of like, there's coffee shops and shit that you can go into, and there's like no phones, no laptops allowed. So I think there's like, you could go on the opposite side and say, well, because everyone's going that way, there's business opportunities.
Yeah.
On the other side of that.
The paywall thing, you go to search this information, and there's the paywall, or I have the white papers. I own this tech inside of the AI. That I don't know. I'm not smart enough. I'm
Me
not
neither.
Smart.
I'm not smart. It's fun to talk about though, especially like even here in the recorded sense, because I can go back and be like,
I'm gonna watch this and be like, this guy's lucky if he ever sells one house. He doesn't know nothing about AI. No.
true.
I mean, and I think we're so close and so far away from all that at the same time. That's what I really think.
Yeah. No, the exponential, like the amount of time is still there, but I think we're young enough and we're lucky enough that
Yes, we will see it,
we will see.
and we'll remember dial-up. Do you remember dial-up?
Oh yeah. I got in trouble because I accidentally selected a long distance phone number, and the phone bill was like out the like wazoo. And my mom made me go get an additional job to pay her because
Good for your mom.
Yeah.
See, and you're successful today because
Yeah.
you didn't just have handouts.
I did not have handouts, but I remember doing because I loved surfing the internet. Waiting for the dial-up to come on, and that AT&T dialer. I remember it.
That's funny.
Got me.
That's funny.
Nate, we could keep going, but I want to
Yeah.
be courteous to Danielle since we're after 5 o'clock. Dude, this was fun.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, where can people find you? You're on the interwebs.
I'm on the interwebs. You can search my name. My Instagram is what is my Instagram handle?
I think it's like Real Estate Nate or something.
Nathan _ Real _ Estate. Nathan Shirk Real Estate. You search me online.
You'll pop up.
But,
You'll pop up.
Yeah.
If you're still with us, like, subscribe, share with a friend, comment below, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye, everyone.